The other thing, like I was saying about speculative fiction specifically, is the emotional narratives that will come up in specific storylines. For instance, like I said, the one that I am working on is a dystopian. It's set in, uh, what I'm calling a new world. The old world has fallen behind. And so I'm tapping into a lot of things that, quite frankly, a lot of people don't want to talk about these days. But I've never been that type of author who cowers to the whims of others. I'm going to write what I'm going to write. And a lot of the times, like I said, that brings up heavy emotional things. So when you do wind up writing this stuff, and it's sort of, that, like I said, the exhaustion sets in, and it's what you want to do is absolutely decompress, especially if you write a heavier scene that, say, is, quite impactful to you, like specifically, and it's like going to be impactful to the readers as well. Make sure that you decompress after that. And what I like to do is I'll go and watch something funny. I'll immediately go to like a Modern Family or a Friends or something like that I'm used to it. The cadence of it is upbeat and quirky, and it immediately flushes out like the darker tones that I have been, focused on writing that got a little bit heavier. So it helps when you have balance like that. The other thing I will say that is, if you are stuck and you're finding it a little bit difficult to get into some of the heavier world building aspects that are out there, is to absolutely go and read something that is along the same lines of what you're writing, and especially try out different authors. If you're always reading the same author all the time, you sort of get yourself pigeonholed. It's good as an author to explore other ideas and other voices out there, and this is how it helps you to develop your own voice, and then you start to be known for a specific way of writing. I'm very, very good at dialogue. A lot of people enjoy the pacing of my novels, but that came from years of trial and error, and reading different authors. The other thing I will say, and which is probably controversial, is to, watch TV or movies to get motivated. And, for me, what actually wound up helping me to start writing my novel series again is because I wound up watching this show called Fringe. I know that it was popular when it first came out. I had never seen it before, but when I started to watch it, I noticed that it had similar themes to this dystopian series that I was writing, and it actually started to energize me, and I got more ideas from watching this show and watching how they developed the specific storylines, especially as it relates throughout, over an arc of a 5-season run. So that's an important thing to remember too, is if you are getting into fantasy or sci-fi, chances are you started doing that because you fell in love with reading those kind of books. And more often than not, they are 10, 20 novels deep, some of these series. And as authors ourselves, we get these lofty ideas as well, and we want to explore them over the course of however many books that it takes. So pace yourself and try not to burn out on ideas and try to cram everything in at once, because that's another way that you can get too exhausted or mentally stressed, is if you're trying to cram too much into all of your books. And this is where sometimes an outline will help. Like I've said in past videos, I don't like to do full outlines, but I do find it helpful now if I'm doing a series, which I've definitely started doing longer series. I do like to have, especially a Bible, as I call it, to refer back to. And as it relates to like sci-fi, fantasy, dystopian, it's helpful to have that within arm's reach so that you remember the complex ideas and names that you've come up with, and you can just refer to them quickly. So flesh out things like that. Character backstory is great because it helps you to flesh out the characters and know what they would do in any kind of circumstance they come up with. And then, like I said before, also let them lead you. The more that a character starts to take shape on the page, the more they will seem real to you, and they will start to lead you in directions you weren't even expecting. So that is half of the fun of writing. And remember that it should be fun. This is why we get into being writers in the first place. We love storytelling. we fell in love with it from reading other authors, and we want to emulate that ourselves.